Hello, you're watching Ellie from Ellymentry Papercrafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the UK. Today I'm going to show you a card which is apparently called a double Dutch barn fold. Now, we did this very recently during a team meeting, and one of my team members, Claire, showed us this card, and the one she showed us was the A6 size card. And this is just a template that I made to learn how to do the fold. And I'm going to make one today, which is going to be well, we say a 6-inch square card. It's actually about 5 3/4 inches square. Now, Claire's was in centimetres, and a lot of people said they'd rather have it in inches. So my card, as I say, is a square one, and I'm using inches as measurement. So let's start. So my base card is cut from a piece of A4. So what I've done is I've taken my piece of A4 and I've just cut a little bit off the end to make it 11.5 inches. I've scored at 5 3/4 inches and folded it in half. Okay, so that is a square card. Now I'm going to take just a little bit off of the front of my card, the bottom part. Now that piece is going to measure 2.5 inches. So I'm going to take my card, bring it to the 2.5 inch mark here, and let's just bring the scoring board down and cut. So I end up with a piece of card like this. Okay, now I've taken another piece of card that's 11.5 inches square long, and this too is 2.5 inches wide. Now what I'm going to do is put that one on the back of this one and fold it up. Now obviously if this width is 5 3/4 and I score this at 5 3/4 and try to wrap it round, it's not going to fit. It's going to be too tight. So what I've done is I've just taken off a little bit from the edge, from one edge. So this isn't quite 5 3/4 now. It's probably about 1/8 of an inch less. Yes, it's about 5 5/8. So then I take my long piece, which is 2.5 inches wide, move my cutting blade out of the way, and if I put it on my trimmer at the 2 7/8 mark, like that, and then score, and then turn it round, and again score it on the 2 7/8 mark. When I fold and burnish this, it will fit around the base of my card and meet in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue on this piece here and stick that to the back of my card. So what I would suggest you do when you've got this far of making the folds, bring in your card, make sure it is okay. If it's a little bit tight, then just trim a little bit more off this side. Okay, so then you need to pop this on, making sure that the bottom's level and the side wraps over, and then I like to just balance it on my tabletop to make sure that the bottom's all nice and squared off. And then you can use your bone folder to spread the glue and make sure it sticks nice and fast. Okay, so that comes in and that comes down. And that is the basic fold of the card. Now I've chosen to decorate mine today with some free papers that we got with the Celebration catalogue, and these are the daffodil papers, and they've also got this lovely summer daisy with a little pink centre. So I wanted to use that because we are coming up to Easter. So I've cut 2 pieces here at the bottom, and I thought it would look nice if there was a layer between the designer series paper and the cardstock. So I picked out the yellow. This particular yellow is crushed curry, which matches the stamp pad. Now I don't actually have any crushed curry cardstock, so let me show you how I made this border here. I took a piece of our very vanilla cardstock, this one, and let me move that out of the way for a moment, and a piece of scrap paper, and then I just took my blending brush, picked up some ink, get rid of the first bit off onto a piece of paper, and just go around the outside of that cardstock. And remember, we've only got a little tiny bit showing, so I don't need to cover all of the cardstock, and just gradually build up the colour on the edges there. So I've cut this to be about an 1/8 of an inch smaller all the way around this area. Now I would give you the exact measurement of mine, but you'll find that when you cut your card down a little bit, it might be slightly different to mine. So what I would say to you is measure the area on your cardstock here and cut this piece 1/4 of an inch less all the way around. Okay, and that will give you an 1/8 of an inch border. And then do the same for this. This needs to be 1/4 of an inch smaller all round than this piece, which will leave you a 1/8 of an inch border all the way round. So I think you'll agree that that looks much better than just that. Okay, so then go ahead and glue this down using either your Tombow multi-purpose glue, which I've got here in a fine tip applicator bottle, or any other medium that you like to use for applying your DSP to your cardstock. And then I'm placing that on there. So this is the bit that comes over like so. You'll find if you open out your card, you can make it easier for yourself to stick things down evenly. So let's just pop some more glue on the back of this. It's an absolutely glorious, sunny, warm spring day here. And I've got the window open, got the door open, and it's just so refreshing to have that lovely sunshine and still be warm and comfortable. It's gorgeous. Okay, and now I'm going to pop these 2 pieces on here, and I've done exactly the same thing there. I didn't have the crushed curry cardstock, so I coloured my own using this. And doesn't that look really spring-like? It really goes with the day. When I decided to make this, I was just looking through my papers and I thought, I could go with the lovely spring day, and that's why I chose this paper. So sadly, the Celebration catalogue is now finished, and so this paper isn't available anymore. So I would just say to you, if you do like something that's in one of our Celebration books, do get it straight away, because you know some of these things don't last forever. Okay, so always get it while you can. So that's decorated, the two flaps that come in and the one that goes down. Now on this one I used a round punch actually to cut these out. So I decided today, as this is a longer squatter card, I thought I would use an oblong to pop on here. So this is the one I've chosen, and I've done the same thing again. I've gone round the outside using my crushed curry to colour it up a bit. Now, to follow on from the background, I've taken this image, the daisy with the pink middle, and I've stamped it using the daisy stamp. Now, I haven't actually got the stamp pad, the set here to show you, but it's Daisy Lane, and there's also a punch that cuts this out. And I punched it, sorry, I stamped it again in the crushed curry to match, and the centre is Flirty Flamingo, which is the same colour used in the paper. So I'm going to pop that onto the middle of my decorative piece, and I cut this out using my Ornate Layers dies, and it's the second one down of the big ones there. Okay, this is an absolutely beautiful set of dies. There are 8 in all. It's really, really good value for money. So let's use my glue again, and I'm going to take my glue and pop some in the center of my daisy. So as you can see, I punched 2, and I'm laying one on top of the other so that the petals fall right in between the previous ones. Now you can have real fun with these kind of punches. You can punch out as many layers as you like so that you can really build your daisy up, and then that can stick onto this piece. I want to show you with here's some I cut out before, left these just plain. You can shape these to make them look more realistic, and you do that by taking your bone folder and this piece here, and you make sure you grip it here and don't pull this too tight, but you're putting your thumb over that part and just gently dragging it along. You can curl the petals. Now, one thing I like to do is curl every other petal down that way, and then turn it over and then curl the others the opposite way. And so when you glue it down like so, they go different ways, and it looks like real flowers do. They're never the same. There's always a couple of petals that go a different way. If you prefer, you can have them all going up the same way. So you could do them all like this. Okay. You can have the top layer going that way and the bottom layer going the other way. You can play with it and do whatever you like. But because this card's going to go through the post, I'm not going to do a lot of shaping because it might get flattened anyway. I'm just going to do a tiny little bit to the top petals. Just a little bit, just to bring a little more life into it. Okay, just like so. So when I lay it down, there is a little bit of movement there. So I'm going to stick this down just like I did before. Just by using the centre, and pop that down. Now these flowers also lend themselves to having something in the centre, like a big domed gem. And as I say, if I wasn't putting this through the mail, I'd actually add something, because they do normally have a domed centre, this kind of flower. So this now can go onto this flap at the top, and the thing to do is let it come down proud of the bottom of the card very slightly, so that it keeps the barn doors closed. Okay, and then when it stands up, you can display it. It does stand up really well on its own. I've actually used the thicker cardstock for this. So that's going to go on the front, and just going to open it out flat to help me to stick this down better. So what I do when I want to make sure I don't get the glue where I don't want it, I put my tweezers at the bottom point, so I don't want any glue below where my tweezers are. Okay, so I'm just going to pop the glue all around that outside edge. I'm not going to glue this down. This looks quite nice if you actually leave it proud of the card. It causes a little bit of sort of almost like a little shadow. Looks really nice if it's not completely stuck down. And then I'm just going to ease that down a little bit at the back until it's straight, and I'll smooth that out with my tweezers. Now anyone who knows me will know that I don't like fussy cards very much, and this paper is very fussy and very loud and very in my face. So I am not going to do anything else to it. I'm not adding any embellishments. I'm not adding any ribbon. I'm actually not even going to add a greeting to the front of this card. I will save my sentiments and greetings for the middle. I will probably add maybe a strip of the paper across the bottom and maybe the top, something like that. Perhaps I'll use a piece that goes, I haven't actually got any left here, but I might put a piece all over, but then add another piece of the paper in the middle to actually write on. So that's my idea, so that the middle will be the reverse of this. It'll be the paper as the border and the vanilla cardstock in the centre. So that's my double Dutch barn door style card, just for spring. Hope you've liked this. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I'd be really grateful. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers. And also, if you look in the description box below, you'll see a link to my online store where you can purchase any Stampin' Up products from our catalogues. And I'll also give you a link for the digital downloads for the catalogues. So if you don't want to receive an actual hard copy, you can view them there anytime. Well, thanks again for watching, everybody, and I hope to see you all again next time. Bye-bye.